So, you might be wondering, what is my Wearable Beast-Furry speech conversion suit device actually for? Of course, it has a purpose, to experience being a walking fluffy creature. Do you ever get a little bit tired of being human sometimes? Then, what's wrong with being an anthropomorphic animal for a few hours? Whenever I put on a fursuit, I can't help but wonder, how would this character walk? What kind of sound would they make? Maybe they are the energetic type who can never sit still, or maybe they are the quiet type, always observing the world with curiosity. And while you're playing that character, perhaps they will make you think about those questions too, just like that. Thinking and role-playing. The moment I first put on a fursuit, Kuta changed me more than I ever expected. Back then, I wasn't very good at expressing myself. I wasn't used to start conversation either. Most of my strange and imaginative ideas stay inside my head. Then I had Kuta. At that time, he was still a wolf. And suddenly, I felt like I had finally found a way to expressing myself comfortably. It wasn't that I didn't want to talk to people. I simply had too many worries and hesitations. But with a completely different appearance, those worries seems to fade away. Because to everyone else, it's just a silly, fluffy wolf doing some silly things. And somehow, when a creature looks cute enough, even causing chaos at home every day seems perfectly acceptable. As Kuta's story continued to grow, I slowly realized that the most interesting part wasn't wearing a fursuit itself. It was watching a character that once existed only in my imagination become a little bit more real every day, developing their own habits, preferences, and personality, begin to see the world in their own way, living in the city, learning about modern technology, getting annoyed when the phone battery dies, or spending an entire day happy because of something completely trivial, as if they really exist somewhere. And that's why I've always believed that a character is more than a drawing. If they were real, they would have their own unique appearance, their own way of living. That's why I still create a completely new sculpt and pattern for every fursuit I make, instead of repeating the same template again and again. Because for me, making a fursuit isn't simply turning a reference sheet into a physical object. It's asking a question. If the character really stepping into the real world, what would they look like? How do they walk? How would they look at the people around them? What kind of expressions would they make? Maybe the children of the Snowheart family don't share one recognizable appearance, but every one of them have their own unique identity, different faces, different body shapes, different personalities, just like all of us. After all, every one of us is unique. So if there's a character who's been living in your imagination for years, or a little creature that's been by your side for a long time but you never had a chance to truly meet, I'd love to hear about them. And who knows, maybe together we can bring them into the world.